Hello, we're back again. Day 2, I think we decided. Night 2, sorry.
Night 2.
Sorry. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about how we got started on our fostering journey and where we are today, like as much as we can get covered. You said you want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. We started fostering in 2016.
Yes.
And I guess what really got us started is I worked at a St. Francis Children's Hospital, and the dirty floor, as we called it. We've seen a lot stuff we didn't really want to see up there, and they had some babies that had come in that basically were going to need foster parents, and at the time we weren't, and we just really talked about it at home, and I told him like that I really wanted to try it out and see. The babies in that situation didn't work out, or whatever. We had a long process of getting approval and all the learnings, and all the trainings and stuff we had to do. But once we did get all of our stuff done, we took our first placement, brother and sister we had for a little while. Their grandmother got approved and ended up getting them after a few days. And then we got placed with a little girl who we had for almost a year and a half. That was a tough situation. But in the meantime of us having her fostering, we had got our son Boone. And actually Boone, if a lot of y'all know, Boone does not know that he's adopted, or realize. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. Doesn't see any color. God bless him. The love of our lives. Son right there, I guess. So one of our best friends that I've known forever, my whole life, named Crystalline, actually originally got the call for Boone. And we love sharing the story, but whenever I guess they called her, right, originally about him, and they were just told her to think about it. I think it was what it was, that this baby was in Tulsa, because she lives in our hometown. And I guess they had mentioned Tulsa to her, she was like, I have friends that live in Tulsa. They're already approved for this, fostering adoption. And so she actually called us and told us about him, and we talked about it, prayed about it. And we told them that we were interested, like, in, meeting him and going forward with this process or whatever. So basically, we ended up getting a call later, and we worked together at the time. And we did get approved to take placement of him at 14 days old. He was 14 days old. And we got the call when we were at our job together, and we left immediately and got to the hospital. And we got to NICU where he was at, and it was the funny story because we were like, which baby? Like, we had no idea what he looked like or anything about him. And we walked in, and they were like, it's that towhead baby over there. We were like, what's a towhead? And they were telling us what it was, and whatever. We just laughed and walked over, and he was this tiny little 5-pound baby, just all white, like just white hair, white as skin, blue as eyes, naked. He had a diaper, I think, tiny little diaper on, but he was had suffered from drug withdrawals, and so they didn't want to have clothes on him. He didn't like them, but we just walked up there to him and picked him up instantly. And we'll have to try to insert some pictures of the day we got there to the hospital, because he gave good old daddy here the okay sign when he was holding him, like literally with his fingers. It was funny. And we got him, like I said, he's 14 days old, and that first day we just fell in love. Like, it was the best day of our lives. And you were so nervous about holding him. Do you remember that?
I was a little nervous, and the first time I had to change his diaper, I was like, I tried to get out of it.
Yeah, he tried to give him back to the nurse.
And the nurse was like, nope. It was like, no, you're doing it. So it was a little nerve-wracking the first time I had to change a diaper. But
I think she was like, here you go. Like, No,
Yeah.
this is your job now.
Yeah.
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 But that was a really good night for us. The first day, like I said, we got to stay there with him. And we lived at the hospital until he was a month old, basically, back and forth. Mind you, we still have our little girl at home, but we had help. My mom was there a lot helping. We had friends, and my dad and uncles, like everybody was coming in and out. One of us would go home at night, one would be there, the baby. So when we did get to come home, it was tough because he still had a lot of drug withdrawal symptoms he was going through and things like that. So basically, we were in and out of the hospital until he was 6 months, I think he was, with just drug withdrawals and having a hard time. He also has a lot of other issues, medical issues like congestive heart failure, pulmonary stenosis, and some other things. And he ended up having quite a bit of surgeries through life. But we decided that we wanted just to, keep going with the fostering and everything like that. And we just had the one girl at home, and now we got Boone and got home, got settled. And someone, or our adoption worker, I think is what it was. I'm trying to remember the whole thing. But in the meantime, someone matched us with the girls. So, because they were on the news station, they were on News Channel 4 for that waiting child gallery thing or something like that. I don't remember what it was. We didn't see it because we lived in Tulsa at the time, so we had different news, so we didn't get to see their thing on the news. But somehow someone reached out to our worker, I think it was, about these girls, and we were interested in meeting them. We were invited to an adoption event for older kids. If you've ever been to one, that's a story within itself. We'll have to tell you, it's awful.
Wouldn't recommend it.
No.
No.
We never went to another one after the one we did go to. But anyways, the girls that we were matched with, that someone said that we had, thought would be good to meet, were at this event. We went to an adoption event for older kids, and we got to meet these girls there. While we were there, it was funny because these girls were being tough. They didn't want to meet anybody. We're going to age out. We don't need parents and this and that.
Thought they already had it figured out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And basically, we would do all these games at these events too. And everything that the games that we played, we were matching up. Like, we had all the same things. So we were a good fit, but it was just, they were stubborn. But in the meantime, we met a boy while we were there. And he had 16 siblings.
16, something like that.
And he was actually in a boys' home at the time. And he really connected with Marcus, a lot. And so we got to connect with him a lot while we were there. But sadly, when we left there, he was in between workers. And so I think that's what it was, like his worker and or whoever was covering just didn't really communicate with our worker very much. But we did get to mentor him for a little while.
Yeah.
After that event, he got to come in with us for a holiday.
Was it Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think for Thanksgiving he came. We got to get him out of the group home, and he had to go back. But then when we left the event that day, though, the girls that we had met there, these sisters, their worker had messaged our worker and said, hey, we noticed all these kids really talking to Marcus and Kelly, and they hope they didn't blow it because they kind of wish that they had spent more time talking to us. And we kind of said, yeah, the same thing. Our worker wrote back and said the same thing. So we ended up getting to meet them after a while. Down here, they came to the Culture Center, I think, and met us.
Yeah, we did.
And had a really great time with these girls. Anyways, we did some visits back and forth for a while with them until the girls ended up moving in with us after so long. And they had the best foster mom, by the way. Dana was her name, and I think she was a good bridge for us. I got sad for a minute. I miss Dana. She was really sweet. And I know our girls love Dana too. If you know Dana, you're watching this from Elmore. She's a great lady. And we got matched, so the girls ended up moving in with us, and we had a rough start, a really rough start. Any thoughts on that?
Do you want to get into that?
Well,
Right
I mean,
now?
we said the good, bad, the ugly. Whenever we got the girls moved in with us and settled and everything, you have 6 months in the state of Oklahoma to decide if you're going to adopt or not or whatever. And so one of our girls was for sure wanted to be adopted and wanted to stay with us and, you know, wanted us as parents. The other one was a little iffy from time to time. She didn't really know what she wanted. Thought she kind of wanted to just age out, like they had an older sister who did that, and that's kind of what she was wanting to do. But at the end of the day, she loved us, we loved her, and she knew she wanted to stay. And so we ended up adopting our girls in May. And we adopted them at 12 and 13. Right?
Yes.
Sorry, I forget sometimes. Right before we adopted them, though, we had adopted our son in November. So it was after 6 months, got him in March. And he got adopted in November, Boone. And then got the girls in the meantime, like before he was adopted, we got placement of them. And then they got to be adopted in May. So it's all within like a year, we adopted 3 kids. Yeah, so
Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
and we still had the one little girl that we were fostering. And then ultimately the little girl that we had ended up leaving and going to the live with who she currently got adopted by now. And I think that's the best thing that's came out of that situation. That was really, really, really hard for us. But I don't want to talk too much on that because they have their own story to tell if they ever decide to do that. But I know she's loved and she looks beautiful. So, but that's a little bit about how we got started on our fostering journey. And I know that was a lot within 13 minutes, it looks like. But just kind of like how our story started. What kind of pushed us to it and what... kind of where we ended up with our 3 kids that we have adopted currently. I will say after that, though, we did take a break. We decided to close our home for a while because we really wanted to focus on the kids that we had adopted and, you know, that's our family. And we needed to spend time together and get to know each other. And our daughters' names are Anna and Dory, short for their long-term names. Long names. Which Dory you'll see on here. And Boone, you'll see on here. Dory is going to try to do some phone calls with us and FaceTimes. She is a hoot, the best.
Well, she's hilarious, though. She's funny.
She actually lives in Florida right now. But when she does come back home, which she will, we're going to try to FaceTime her. Then we're going to try to do lots of videos with her and let her share a little bit of her journey through foster care too. I think it will be good for y'all to hear somebody who has actually went through it. And she's grown now. And so I think it will be good for you guys to hear a little bit of her story. And again, how she started, you know, from the middle to the end, where she's at. Her story is just beginning. She's 20 and loving life and traveling. But we hope to share a little bit of that as well. And again, Boone doesn't really know too much about it, so he's not going to be able to share a whole lot. But if you guys have any questions or anything that you want to ask us or know, please comment, leave those questions. We would love for you to share our videos, like our videos. We want to try to build up our followers and stuff because our goal from this is to get more people in our community to fostering, to host a family, help a family, to understand about fostering or adoption, any of it, and just to share our story. And because again, I think you see a lot of families on here that go through that have a lot to tell. Sometimes they're fancy people. Sometimes I haven't really seen a lot of people like us that are just normal old folks, but we are just normal old folks. So again, please leave any comments, questions, anything you have. We would love to answer as many as we can. You want to add to anything?
For me, I was nervous going into this whole deal. I didn't feel like I was ready for it. But after going to the hospital, seeing him, and holding him in my arms for the first time, it was a good feeling. It was a great feeling. But it also made me grow as a person, and to let me know, like, I can handle this. You guys, you girls that are nervous going into it, I mean, you'll learn from it. So it's a pretty cool experience. There's some good times. I'll let you know there's some tough times too.
The picture when he says okay, look at this.
That's the boy.
Literally giving us the okay the day Marcus held him.
That was awesome. But again, you'll grow, and you'll be tough, and you'll be strong about it.
With that cheese face Marcus is making.
Yep.
Yep.
Became a happy man then.
Yeah, and there's so much more to talk about. Again, we were just trying to we needed to make another clip the second day. We told everyone wants us to make this content, so we're trying. And we are going to video again, like I said, throughout the day and try to add stuff on. It's just, we do work a lot and our kids are very busy kids. And tonight we were at the benefit for our friend Kelsey, supporting Kelsey. And so we just didn't get to film a whole lot. Marcus does do lives on TikTok, and
I'll tag all that. I'll tag all that in this video.
Yeah. So we will do better at putting all that out there. But again, we just wanted to start kind of a little bit of where we started with our journey. And I'm sorry if we're all over the place. We don't write down notes. We don't write down a whole lot. We're just winging it and telling it raw, real.
And if y'all got any questions, man, feel free to ask it, put it in the comments, and we'll answer them the best way we can. So like she said that we'll I don't remember you saying that.
Y'all are gonna see us probably big girl out too.
Every day.
It's okay. Yeah, that's all right. How long we been married?
Too long.
10 years this year? 11 years. 10 years last year, so 11 years?
11 years.
11 years.
In October.
Yeah. One day we'll remember what day. I always say the wrong day and he gets mad at me. But either way.
We just know it's in October.
We've been married a long time. So, yes. And I thank y'all for already liking our first video, sharing it. Man, we have a great support system. That's one thing about this county and everybody around here just supporting us and loving us. Spreading the word, again, helps us help other kids, helps us to help other families, helps us to again, expand everyone's knowledge about this stuff. We're learning too. So that's all we can all do. That's something we told our girls when we got them as teenagers. We were young, adopting a 12 and 13-year-old sisters, and everyone was talking about how crazy we were, and we were just like, man, we got this, Now I'm like, if we can live through that, we can live through anything. And so, but they were they were the first for us, like teenagers, first thing we were learning everything. And so if we can do it, then anyone can do it, and if we can make it through it, anyone can make it through it. And that's what we're all here to do, is support each other. And we will have other people in our videos that are other foster parents. Hopefully, I have a few of them I've talked to, hoping to get them on here. Friends, you will see them on here, which I don't know if we're going to add to this clip some of our friend stuff from today, or if we might just add it on as just a regular video. But it takes a village. It really does. And we have a big village, thank gosh, that supports us. from our church family to just family, friends, and friends that are like family. So, I know we've talked a lot just on this video about random stuff, but we appreciate y'all. And thank you. And again, please share every video that y'all see. It means a lot to us.
We'll see y'all.